What's up everyone, my name is Benji or Mr. Bernuto, and this is my submission video for the speedrun of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in the any percent category. I am currently the world record holder for this category with a time of 1:31:51 game time and 1:32:37 real time. I do the submission because I feel like the run has changed quite a lot ever since it was last featured on SGDQ 2021 and will now also be run in a quote-unquote different category, meaning the any percent category. Previously the run was the run for the no PBC any percent no PBC category was showcased by Panache. Ever since then we merged categories, and now the use of PBCing is allowed on all any percent runs, which saves quite a bit of time. And since last GDQ, if you count in all the no skips and the use of PBCing, we save around 10 minutes, which is quite a considerable amount of time. And I feel like because of that, the run is worth being showed off. And yeah, because the community has been working really hard on new skips, and we found quite a few that save a bunch of time that are also quite hard, but are really cool as well, really bizarre, like the game is in general, the speedrun of it. And yeah, so I will be doing my best in this submission video to explain what I do throughout the run and point out the major differences compared to the old, or the last time the run was featured on SGDQ 2021. And yeah, just as a heads up, I am German, so any bad English or bad phrasing or anything like that, I apologize for. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just hop right into the run. So yeah. Also, since the last GDQ, we have now an auto splitter and a load time remover, but that isn't really relevant for GDQ anyway, just interesting to note. So now here at the beginning of Bracca, we will be rolling, since this is the fastest way of moving currently, because Cal cannot sprint yet, he can only walk, so we just roll. Yeah. Now, coming up right here is the first major difference from the previous run. This jump right here is very difficult, but it skips that one cutscene right here, which is about a 30-second of time save, which is quite awesome. And as as of doing this submission, we found this skip yesterday, so yeah, quite interesting and a good time save. Now we have the ability to sprint now, so we will be doing this, just sprinting along.
Easy there. Just passing through.
Like I said, I will be pointing out major differences between PVC runs and no PVC runs. But yeah.
Good to see you.
Just as a heads up, whenever I will do a PVC, the recording and the game will lag really badly. Which is normal, so no need to be concerned or anything like that. But yeah,
Sounds like scrap
just as a heads up.
creepy. Just passing through, guys. No need to come out and say hi this time.
Hey, Cal, I'll meet you at the clamps.
Sounds good. Be there soon.
How'd you get here?
How'd you get here?
Look, the ship cutter is here. There it goes.
So yeah, this, except for that first jump, this section of the game is exactly the same. Um,
Cal, use the manual override lever below.
Got it. Your turn.
Hold on. All right, clamp secured.
Whoa.
You okay?
Still here.
Give me a break there, pal.
Done.
Hang on. I got this. Come take a look at this.
also, you saw me change
What a score!
my frame rate cap here. That first jump that I did, that skips the cutscene, is kind of frame rate dependent, meaning it's easy to do on 60 FPS, which is a thing in this game. Physics are based upon your frame cap, and also the PBC trick, meaning pause buffer clipping trick, is easier on lower frame rates, so I will be switching frame rates throughout the run. Also, why we merged the categories now is also because we found a way to make PBC more consistent throughout PC players. It's a little bit harder to do on console still because you actually need to use pause to lag the game. But what we do is, on PC we use the F11 key, which will put the game into windowed mode, or full screen mode. It will switch between the two, which in turn then makes the game lag, which deloads certain geometry, or for example load triggers, which we then use to phase through those objects. So yeah, you will see me change my frame rate cap throughout the run. But for the majority of it, you want to stay on 144, just because 144 FPS that is, because it's the smoothest experience. And also there's a trick called a target lock jump, where you target an enemy, jump and press the slow or block key at a very specific time, which will send Cal flying, and he will do a giga jump that is way higher than normally intended. And that is also frame rate dependent, meaning the higher your frame cap is, the easier the run or the trick will be. So yeah, general running the game is on 144 frames. But like I said, for some tricks I will be changing my frame rate. Now again, the run sadly still contains a high amount of cutscenes, especially here on this first split on Bracca. It's a tutorial planet, so we will still have to watch cutscenes here. But yeah.
Okay, we gotta move. Come on.
Hell happened. What was that back there? Was that you? What, that was the Force, wasn't it?
Just forget what you saw, okay? Please
No,
trust
but
me.
I've seen the stories. I've heard it. There's bounties out on people like you.
I know.
Again, regarding target lock jumps, we will be using
We
them
need to be careful.
about like 7 minutes from now will the actual gameplay start, and we will be using it to skip a bunch of the tutorials on the Bracca train section, and therein lies also one of the major new skips found on Bracca, utilizing a PVC and then some out-of-bounds movement to skip a cutscene, like 2 cutscenes, and a bunch of just climbing, which saves doing well about 40 to 50 seconds, so this is quite huge. So we have found quite a few new skips on Bracca already, and on the next split Bogano one I will also be doing a new skip which skips the wall run skill. So because of a new skip on Kashyyyk we found, we will no longer be needing the wall run ability, and therefore I skip it. It doesn't save a whole lot of time, but it's like really cool to do, and it saves a little bit of time. So I will be doing that and showcasing that off. So Bogano 1 will look very different from last year's submission. Or not last year, last GDQ submission, sorry. But yeah. In about 20 to 30 seconds, the first PBC of the run will happen. Where we will be clipping through 2 doors here on this particular train here. Which saves a bit of time because Cal won't have to go through the animation of opening them, and the next set of doors won't even be, they will just open automatically, which is really cool. One thing that I will have to do though before is I will have to go into photo mode for a second. There we go. You need to do that, otherwise PBC won't work. Once in the game you need to do it. Okay. There we go. We clip through those doors. Now those doors will open. So yeah. And now Prof will spawn in again. There he is. Now you can PBC those 2 doors that come up here as well, but there's no real point in doing so. So we just click the button and go the intended route for now. But yeah, also the kind of downside of using F11 to do the PBCs is that I have a 1080 and 1920 by 1080p resolution monitor, and now because I switched to windowed mode and then to full screen again, it will now be at the resolution 1600 by 900, which is lower quality. But yeah, that's just something we have to accept for now. No way to work around it. I could change my resolution, and I will after I've done the last PBC, but that will be on Kashyyyk, so up until then, this will sadly be the resolution I'll be playing the game in. It's not a huge deal, but just something to consider. Oh yeah, also regarding my timers, you will maybe see that I have 2 timers. The detailed timer is the timer that is used for game time, since we have a load remover now. That is the one that is relevant for world records and all that stuff. And the timer that is below that, the other green one, the smaller green timer, is a RTA timer that will just keep running. So yeah, just in case you were wondering what that was all about. Technically you don't have to have the RTA timer on there, but I still do. Just, I don't know, in case the other load remover, like the load remover breaks or anything like that, RTA will still be able to be submitted. So yeah, cutscenes are almost over. Whenever Prof, our good friend here, gets killed, there's like another 30 seconds and then we will actually be playing the game. And yeah. And like I said, on the train section coming up, there's a huge skip that we found recently. And I hope I can show it off. Also PBC exclusive, because we PBC, meaning we lag through a cutscene trigger and then do some janky out of bounds movement.
Became scrappers. The workers? They just started getting worked. We all know the truth. We're just too afraid to say it. To the Empire, we're all just expendable.
Yes, you are.
There, Prof sadly dies. And we will reveal ourselves to be the Jedi they are looking for.
I found the Jedi!
Okay. Now we're on the train. This is where gameplay begins.
Oh, that hurts.
Hold it. Don't move. How'd you get here?
Easy now.
Got a stowaway. Shouldn't have come here. Hear that over the comms? The traitor.
Okay, so here I will be doing the first of many target lock jumps. I will target him, jump and press slow, and there we go. And now we're on top of the tutorial sections and can skip all of this by just running across those train carts. Normally down there would be all kinds of tutorials, but we just skip all of them.
The fugitive comes this way. I'm ready for it. Jedi!
Here again, we just TLJ up, skipping a climbing section.
I'm after him.
And
Get him.
one more time. And that next train car you see in front there will be the new skip coming up.
Now. Faster.
Okay, so we'll PPC the cutscene trigger right. Ah, I sadly hit it there. That's unlucky. The stormtrooper's body blocked me. Thankfully, due to the load time remover, you can fail this skip a couple of times and still get a decent rocket. Because you only get one shot at it. There we go, I got it. Now we will jump over here. We'll jump inside here and then slide across. This is the janky out of both bounce movement I was talking about. Okay, there we go. And we will jump over here. And on the left side. And we skip a bunch of time this way.
Whoa! This is bad.
You win easy. Stop the intruder. After him.
And one last TLJ right here. There we go. And I will be going for a risky skip right here. That can end your run. But it can save up to 10 seconds, so I will do it. We kinda wait here until we... to jump a little bit, and then I will hit a loading trigger. I will jump now. And I hit it there. I switched to Jedi Grandmaster. Normally we play the game on story mode. I switched to Jedi Grandmaster here because there is a scripted fight coming up that you cannot win. So we just try to lose it as fast as possible. And on Jedi Grandmaster Trilla, or the second sister as we only know her, does more damage, killing us in 3 hits. So we switch to Jedi Grandmaster here.
Going somewhere. I recognize that stance. Perhaps you've had some training after all. Who was your master? Padawan? Someone I killed, perhaps? What Jedi gave their life so that you might live?
So I will just dodge into her once, get hit 3 times, and trigger a quick time event where you don't actually have to press anything because you can disable quick time events in the menu, which we do. So you don't have to do anything here. and the split will come up right now. So yeah, this, like I said, this is the first run I did utilizing the new trick we found yesterday, the jump at the very beginning. So this was a gold for me, a 1707, which is really good, really, really good. So yeah, now I will switch back to story mode. Story mode gives us a couple of advantages. One, enemies obviously being less aggressive, but the main thing why we do it is because we will use a method or a movement technique called chain dashing, which requires the use of force, and if we are in combat on story mode, our force meter regenerates, which allows us to get a couple more dash strikes in, which in turn saves a bit of time. So we play the game on story mode. And yeah. Also, fun fact, in the speedrun that I do right now, we do not fight a single boss, which is quite interesting. So yeah, we have a category called Jedi Grandmaster All Bosses, which is about 2.5 hours long, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that is playing on Jedi Grandmaster the whole time through, and fights all bosses and mini bosses.
So, who are you?
Cal, Kestis.
But here in any percent, we don't do that kind of stuff. We just go fast and try to complete the game as fast as we can.
She will not stop until she destroys you.
How do you know so much? And why'd you help me?
We track Imperial communications. We heard the Inquisitors were...
So yeah, a bunch of cutscenes still playing now.
Jedi these days anyway.
That's gratitude for you.
Look, I get it. You've been surviving
Actual
on your own
gameplay will be in about 5 minutes from now. So yeah,
and it's what's kept you alive.
we will have a short quote-unquote gameplay section, where you just walk forward. That's all you do.
Building the Jedi Order.
So yeah.
You too. Anybody else?
Oh, we're not good enough for you?
The Jedi Council?
They're gone.
So just as it was with the run on SGDQ 2021, we still don't really spoil a lot of story stuff except for the very end. Even less now, like there's almost no story stuff being spoiled for you. We see so little of the game. We see so little of what the game has to offer, and it's quite crazy how much stuff we can skip. So yeah, you can still watch the speedrun and play the game afterwards if you tune out for the end. At the end there's quite a big spoiler.
You gotta move on and live your life.
But yeah.
Find your destiny. Calico! You were talking in your sleep.
Okay. So here comes the gameplay section. Funny enough, in my world record that I did last run, or yesterday it was, I forgot to walk here and stood here for a good 18 seconds. So yeah, world record can be optimized by that, and I just did. I just saved 18 seconds over my world record just like that. Because sometimes if you're distracted and you don't really pay attention, you forget that there is a quote-unquote gameplay section here. So yeah. Also, I have music turned off in the game, so Cal just will play the banjo here, but nothing really will come out of it. Because the sound the banjo makes is considered as music by the game. So very interesting.
That's all. I wrote it. Years ago. You touch an object and witness events connected to it. You feel its history.
It's an echo in the force from the object.
Not many Jedi have that skill.
How would you know that?
I was once a Jedi, but not anymore.
I know you.
So yeah,
No.
plot stuff with
I knew the
Seer
master,
right now.
Jaro Tapal. He was a
Just
true
another
guardian of the
set of
divine.
cutscenes.
He's a hero.
But with the new skips and everything that we found, like we reduced the amount of cutscenes as much as we can. There's still a couple of long cutscenes in there,
I survived.
but we can't really do anything about
My
them
connection
as
to
of
the
right
Force is
now.
damaged.
Respawn has
When I meditate,
not
I let my guard
added
down.
a skip cinematic or skip
Control.
cutscene button,
It's
sadly.
like I'm back in that moment when
So
You survived, Cal.
we're just stuck watching this. Which is both a blessing and a curse because we found a lot of skips working around cutscenes. So we try to skip cutscenes, and that is a major part of the skips we find. But of course it would also be awesome if we could just straight up skip them with a button, but you know, it's fine. The beginning of the run is the most cutscene heavy part of it. So yeah.
This is Bogano.
So, Bogano.
Jedi I knew directly before
This is very different now from
you won't
the
find
submission
any
run,
maps.
or the run from AGDQ 2021. Not because of the use of pause buffer clipping actually, but because, like I said, I will skip wall run altogether,
See that structure
which
over
makes
there?
for a quite interesting,
I believe that vault holds the key to rebuilding the Jedi Order.
yeah, quite
But
interesting
requires someone
new
with
route
strong
that we do
force
here.
to pass its test.
And since you're not a Jedi anymore, that's why you need me.
I know you don't trust me.
Also on this
Pretty sure
planet
I
we
trust you.
try to get one
But
skill
we have a
point,
common enemy.
so that we can buy dash, the
I'll share mine
dash
with my
strike
family
later
when we
on,
reach the
which
vault.
is our preferred way of
Until then,
moving around.
there's someone here I think you should.
So what I will do is I will
May the
get a
force
force
be with you.
echo, and then I will kill the frog after the vault and scan him for XP, which will give me one skill point. So that is something I will also be doing. So we get one skill point here, and then we need to
There's already one here.
farm XP for a second one. So target lock jump here on an invisible enemy. There we go. Get this force echo here.
Boggling.
It gives you a bunch of XP. That's almost enough, as you can see. It's quite crazy. I will do a weird jump right here. Oh. Okay, so I made that jump there, and now we will head straight to the BD1 cutscene right here. Normally we would go to wall run first, launch out of it with a launch that you can do in this game, and then try to land here. But because I skip wall run, you skip all that stuff altogether,
Healing
which
stick.
saves quite some time.
You're full of surprises.
But later on Kashyyyk we will have to do a little bit of a different
Better. Thanks, little kid.
different strats involving a PBC actually,
Let's try this
because we need to skip wall run section, or we need to do something to get across a wall run section that we obviously can't get across without the wall run ability. So yeah.
So, how'd you get here?
So we just run out here, and I will actually go to the right here and
Can't argue with that.
trigger this
Really big bug.
splocks right here, and then lure him over here to do a pretty risky target lock jump right here. We do this because if I were to take the zipline like normal, there would be a map cutscene that triggers. We don't want that, so I just do this TLJ. Yeah, so if you were to take the zipline,
Sorry about your
on the left here you can see the platform where we would normally end up, and there's a map cutscene trigger there, which loses about 8 seconds. So I do that TLJ instead. A TLJ can end your run technically, because if you lose the target on that splocks, there's no way to get it back, and then you will have to go around and you will just lose a lot of time. So this is quite risky. It's not insanely hard, but it's a little bit risky.
Okay, you probably would have won.
Okay. Now we trigger the cutscene here at the vault, which the cutscene that ensues afterwards is one of the longest ones in the game. So yeah. Quite unfortunate, but we have to do it. So we will be going inside of the vault. I will try to get a skip here, or a strat here, which involves doing that. Oh, I didn't get it. You can get back into that crawl space section, and then the cutscene will still play out, but the camera will be stuck on the like crawl space section there. So yeah, that can save time, because after this cutscene ends, sometimes you get teleported instantly to the to the crawl space section here, which saves a bit of time, but it's a little bit tricky to do, and it doesn't save a whole lot of time, so it's worth it to go for it, I feel. But if you don't get it, it's not a big deal at all. So yeah, Enor Cordova will now give us our quest for this game, of which we will not do a whole lot. But yeah, we will follow it a little bit, but we skip most of it. We skip as much as we can. He will tell us about three tombs of... yeah, there we go. 3 sages. We skip one of those tombs altogether, and the other ones are also just very minimal gameplay in them. So yeah, we skip a lot of stuff in this game. In case that wasn't obvious.
Good luck, Jedi. And may the Force be with you.
Okay, may the Force be with you.
I guess you were the someone I was supposed to meet.
So yeah, after this cutscene here, we will go back to the Mantis. But the game obviously expects you to have the wall run ability by now. So we will have to do a little bit of weird movement and a couple of hard jumps to skip wall run sections that will be coming up. But I will point them out as soon as we get to them.
Maybe Sierra was right. Maybe we're done hiding. Hey, you want to meet some
Okay.
friends of mine?
Okay, the cutscene is done. We will run back towards the crawl space. There we go. And now we'll head out, but first we will kill the frog that is right here.
Think I found what you wanted me to see.
That is like as close to combat as we're gonna get in this run. Like that's the most combat. And we will scan it. There we go. Now we have our second skill point, which was the plan from the beginning. Now here is a wall run section that you can skip, but it's quite hard, so we'll focus here for a second. I will jump here in invisible geometry and then jump over here and can just make it. Whew. There we go. Now we'll hit the cutscene here. You saw me walk through that door. Apparently we have seen one member of a community actually open that door before this cutscene here triggers. But we have never recreated it ever before. It is something that would save a couple of seconds. Not a huge deal, but it's just something that is bugging us because it seems so doable. But still, no one has ever really recreated that one time. Someone has done it. So we just open it now. Okay, now here coming up, another hard jump. Because there's a wall run section here, but what you can do, you can just do a late jump here. Ah, I missed it, unlucky. Like I said, those jumps are hard. They are not easy at all. That should be it. There we go. So we can skip the wall run section here to the right and just grab barely onto that. Okay, there's, you see the zip line, we would normally take that, but there's a wall run section right afterwards, so we can't. So what I will instead do is I will target this Splox right here, and do a target lock jump over here. There we go. And we will run back towards the Mantis. Now overall this was a pretty sloppy Bogano one, but good enough.
I love gold.
There we go.
Yeah, now you're thinking.
Now we will go to Zeffo.
On our way to Zeffo.
And we will now walk to the back of the Mantis and buy our skill points. Oh, buy our skills with our skill points. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Now the menu on that that meditation circle there is a little bit weird. It doesn't show up, but it is there, so you will be able to still hit the skill tree button with your mouse. So we will now sit down here, and what you will see me now do, switching my FPS to 60, because there is a trick coming up called YOLO launch, which saves like about 3 minutes. It's, like the name implies, pretty YOLO, but we have found a way to make it a little bit more consistent by doing a melee attack mid-air to slow our momentum a bit so that we don't overshoot it. But yeah, we do that launch on 60 FPS, like I said. Physics and all that stuff is dependent on your frame rate cap, not your actual frames, but your frame rate cap. So yeah,
Can you tell that bucket of balls to keep his opinion to himself?
I will do that on 60 and switch to 144
It's under control. It's
when
just
I'm
a
done
little tricky.
with the launch. After the launch, we will enter a elevator, which in no PPC we would have to ride all the way down, which loses, or which is very slow. But in PVC we can actually do a very hard PVC that makes it so that we clip outside of the elevator and land in the tomb down below way earlier than intended, which saves a good amount of time, and is one of the major differences between no PVC and PVC. So here I will just walk out here. Now we will do our chain dashes. That is what we bought the skill points for. Well, we bought the skills for. Also, we need that dash for the launch to work. But there's an improved version of this dash actually. So I will still have to kill a couple of enemies here to get more XP, to get one more skill point. So now YOLO launch coming up. Let's see if I can get it.
The Empire. They found Zeffo.
Ah, that was a vertical one. That was not what you want.
They be looking for the tombs.
Let's hope not. Just got our comms working. I'll try the same workaround to crack into there.
Okay, unlucky. Taking a bit of time here. There we go. Now we'll slash mid-air and photo mode to load this in. Perfect. Load in the next section right here. Get up here and do something we call wind percent. And bounce, get out of bounds right here. Dash across this, because there's a wall down there that we need to push. Switch to 144. Do one of the highest target lock jumps in the game right here.
Just open the way for the Empire.
And coming up now is the PBC I was talking about earlier. So the game will lag again. Okay. There we go, I got it, perfect. And we land down here. Normally you try to get a falling like a aerial strike on that guy, because we kill him for XP, but I kinda landed in a weird spot so that didn't work, unlucky. We can just walk through that door.
Don't fall behind, BD1.
And now we will do something that is called early push. Wait, I have to do something for a second, sorry. You can also PBC here, but this is the way we used to do it, and it works. There we go. Go back to full screen. And yeah, that saves a bunch of time compared to no PBC. So a major difference right there, and a major time save. So we just dash strike here, get hit by balls, and yeah, try to trigger this flashback here as soon as possible. Yeah, sometimes a ball gets like stuck in the wall and it does this weird sound glitch. Don't worry about it. Okay. So now I will just push those balls. Three times and then we can get out of here. There we go. There's like a way to push this door early, but it's weird. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Another cutscene right here. The distinctive striations cutscene. The distinctive striations. So yeah, so we go down here to actually unlock Kashyyyk. And unlocking Kashyyyk gives us access to Jedi Flip, which then gives us access to flying, the flying glitch, and yeah, that leads to a whole bunch more stuff. Good RNG on this guy, perfect. So destination unlock Kashyyyk, that's what we're here for. And kill him. There we go, now we do a tomb launch here. There we go. A little bit of a weird trick, but yeah. Abusing weird geometry and dashing and yeah, it's weird. And then we can get up. You might think, can't you just land in the elevator? You could, but you need to push this door here from the outside in order for this ball to become pushable. So, yeah. Sadly, there's no way, as of right now, to skip the ride up the elevator. We only know how to skip the ride down, but up we still have to take it, so this is a little bit slow. But nothing too bad. Up there is a meditation point where we will use our last skill point to buy the final skill of the run, which is improved dash, which is just a dash that it has covers more distance. So obviously that's what we want. So right here, I was just spam and left, spam space and left, and I will buy the skill before I even see the menu. And here we go. Now I have a dash strike that is a little bit longer and covers a little more distance. Jump cancel right here. You can cancel the animation of Cal doing the slash with a well-timed jump, but it's quite hard, but you will see me do / attempt them throughout the run. So slide right here. The slide, sometimes it's RNG how fast you slide down it. I got a pretty slow slide there, but it's fine. I will do a falling dash strike off of... Oh, unlucky. There we go, I do a falling dash strike off of there to get here. Another jump cancel right there. Oh, I missed it there, unlucky. Okay, sometimes these stormtroopers here, they can like really mess you up. So, oh, that is probably not gonna be good. Oh, he didn't hit me. Great, nice. If you get hit during that opening the door animation, then you're kind of screwed. You need to kill the enemies. Here is also a wall run section, but we don't have wall run, so we just kind of do this jump here. So that's also a difference if you skip wall run. Here a TLJ coming up. There we go. Just skip a little climbing section there. Can't believe that guy hit me right there. Normally they don't hit you right away because you go too fast, but weird. Huh. So, now comes a very detrimental part of the run. Okay. So I will do a safety save here. But now you would normally fight the ATST boss, but that's slow. And there's a big cutscene afterwards, so what we do, we avoid combat with it by going around the left here. We avoid getting into combat, and then...
I love gold!
Okay, it's not supposed to split here, but okay. Okay, and then we do a PBC into the Mantis here. Right, so... Now we're inside of the Mantis. We will do another dash flip to actually get inside. There we go. And split right now.
I love gold!
And we will go to Kashyyyk. So that also right there, major difference between PBC and no PBC runs. Even though we have found a way to skip the cutscene that would normally play here after you kill the ATST without the use of PBCing, but obviously if you do it with a PBC, this is just straight up faster. So again, you see me talk this terrarium here because while you travel between planets, they have like Seer and Grease have conversations that play out even though you could already sit down. Like I could sit down already, but the planet is loaded, but the conversation is still going, so I can't sit down yet, which loses time. And talking to that terrarium skips their dialogue they having, and I can sit down as soon as the conversation ends. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna be utilizing whenever we travel between planets. On the travel from Bogano to Zeffo, you don't need to do it because we buy the skills there, and that is most of the time slow enough to it's slow enough so that by the time we get to that co-pilot seat, their dialogue is over. So we don't need to do it there, but from every other planet, interplanet travel, I will be doing that from now on. Also, in just a couple... Also, we have quite a long cutscene here. Not incredibly long, but also another cutscene. I will be changing my FPS again in a second, and we'll do the first dash flip PBC on the AT-AT, which also saves a bit of time and is easiest to do on 45 FPS. So that's why I will be switching my FPS, and I will stay on 45 FPS because later on there will be another PBC that I will have to do because I skipped wall run. But I will talk more about that once we get there.
They'll die without our help.
So what's your plan?
Sabotage. We used to scrap walkers on Bracca. I'll just jack one.
Get a load of the kid. He thinks we're back in the Clone Wars.
Captain, get us near those walkers.
Wait, what?
Listen, those walkers double as troop transport, so once you get inside, be careful.
No freeze grease to work his magic.
Hey, do me a favor. Stay
Okay,
alive down there.
so when Cal jumps out of the Mantis here, I will look for a save symbol at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and as soon as I see that, I will quit out and load back in, and that actually saves time over watching that little cutscene. So right there, I will quit out. You don't see the pause menu, so you just kind of have to do it blind, but it's not that hard. So yeah. That is why we do that. It skips a little cutscene here, that plays a little animation, and you will put closer to the AT-AT than normal. So it saves time all around.
Maybe we can get up there. That was close.
Okay, let's see. Climb up here. There we go.
More slippery than I thought.
Oh, that was... Oh. That was unlucky. I did something stupid there. It's fine.
Okay. Now where?
Now, this AT-AT is a little bit janky to climb on it. You can fall off of it pretty easily if you jump. So I will be a little bit careful here. Do a jump right here though. And then you can skip a little animation if you jump right here. Perfect. There's like a stumble animation that plays normally. But if you do this, it will not. I'll run over here. And now I will be changing my FPS to 45. And attempt another PBC right in this corner. That should be it, perfect. So those stormtroopers don't, or those scout troopers don't activate, they're not doing anything. And you skip a little climbing section down there. Or a little crawl space section more like. So, but because we did that, the game will lag here a little bit, it will load a bit. And because it doesn't expect you to get here so fast, so it will take a while to load back in. So that worked great, that's nice. First try on that PBC.
Can you shut that guy up?
Yeah, I also have the input overlay on, so you can see that I press F11 to do those PBCs. So yeah, that's the way we do them now. Now, this AT-AT section here, great in a casual playthrough, not so great in a speedrun because it's a glorified cutscene. You just hold W. There's nothing you can really do. What I like to do is just get rid of those bridges here at the end, just so that I can see the landing pad a little earlier. But like I said, there you can't really do anything here. You just kind of walk forwards,
Someone who just brought an ad
and then you try to kill the ship or to destroy the ship as fast as possible. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. Sometimes it takes forever to kill. We are still not 100% sure what causes it to sometimes blow up early, or it's a little bit weird still. But yeah, we think it has to do with certain barrels that we destroy here. So what I will do is I will shoot at a couple of those barrels right here. That should be it. Then I will get the landing pad to explode, right so. And then what I then do is I just shoot at the TIE fighters here, and then shoot at the ship. It will take a while to get up. There we go. Now it will explode once, explode a second time right there, and when it explodes the third time it will be done. So let's hope I get a decently fast ship kill. I missed those shots there. There we go. That was decently fast. Could be better, but that was alright. So, another long cutscene ensues. Another like 2-minute cutscene. But yeah. No way to skip them as of right now, and we have not found a way to skip them otherwise. So,
Yeah, I'm okay.
if we were able to skip the whole AT-AT section, that would just be awesome, but as of right now, that does not seem possible, sadly. People have tried, but
Cal Kestis.
haven't found anything yet.
What are you doing on Kashyyyk?
So we'll just have to do it from now on.
My companions and I came
Or
to
for
Kashyyyk
up
to
until
discover
now.
Imperial supply lines.
Or up until we find a way to skip it. So, talking about what I do on Kashyyyk here. On Kashyyyk there are 4 wall run sections coming up, which are all impossible to do for me the intended way because I do not have the wall run ability. But there are a certain number of tricks and interesting movement stuff and a interesting PBC with a death warp that allows me to still do still progress. So like I said, you can still progress even though you skip wall run. And also, like I said, on Kashyyyk there is a huge new skip compared to the run that was shown on SGDQ 2021. But like I said, I will get into that when we get there. It is involving a technique called air walking, which I will also talk a little bit more about once we get there. Okay, cutscene is over, and we can play the game again. Now I will chain dash my way through here. So there's a warrant section, as you can see. But first of all, we will get overcharge, which we could also skip in theory, but it is, as of right now, way slower to do than just actually getting the overcharge. Which was the same with wall run. As of right now, people thought wall run skip was not very viable at all. But I kinda did some testing and I feel it is viable, and I also think it's very cool. So here's a TLJ on 45 FPS, which is a little bit hard to do, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, those TLJs get harder the lower your frame rate is. There we go. Jesus Christ. So here, wall run, we can't do it, so we just do a cheeky... that was not it. Unlucky. We just do a G-key dash drag. There we go. Now here, normally on that wheel you would also wall run, but what you can do instead, you can just kind of ride it up like so, which is interesting. And now the hardest part comes, which is the actual PBC into a death warp. So I will, to skip those wall run sections right there, I will... that was not it. I will do a PBC. That was also a little bit too late. That was a little bit too early. There we go. I will PBC in here. Jump on some invisible geometry here. Jump up. Turn around. And try to hit a respawn point up there. I got it. Perfect. Now I can switch back to 144. Now we're on top of the wall runs. And we can commence with the run. And saw skip. So we can skip a cutscene here with a very precise jump. Almost got it there first try. It's a very precise... I almost missed it. Holy shit. Unlucky. There we go. Be careful here. There's the cutscene trigger is very close, so you don't want to get too close to any of that. Here there is another PBC that you can do. I missed it, sadly. To skip the little cutscene right here. It's not a huge cutscene, but it saves a little bit of time if you can't skip it. Not a deal breaker if you don't. Chain dash over here. Do a target lock jump off of those guys. Oh, that was unlucky. Okay, I'm kind of stuck here. There we go. And now we'll do something known as Perch Trooper skip, which is a little bit hardware dependent, so I hope I can get it. I have a pretty fast PC. So we need to get into some area here that before it loads. There we go. Woo. If you have a slower PC, that will load in slower for you. But the faster your PC is, the harder this will be. But I got it, so that's nice. Okay, just for safety, I will do a safety save here. Because there is a trick coming up, like I said, that is... You get one shot at it. It is technically not that hard, but holy shit. I normally don't safety save here, so normally I'm done. I'm not actually in this fight at all. So we do a target lock jump off of this guy. And then we do one of the hardest target lock jumps in the game. Oh, that was not it. Unlucky. That should be it. Yep, that's a very hard target lock jump to do. And now comes the part where the run is... or the trick that really defines the run. Normally you would do like weird TLJs off of that little firefly there, but what I instead do is I go here, PBC a death plane, so meaning I lag the game enough so that I actually fall through a death plane and don't actually hit the death plane, so I don't void out. And now I can dash here in an out of bounds area to trigger a load trigger and then do a skip called slide skip. There's like a whole Shadowlands area on Kashyyyk and stuff, and a slide as the name implies, but we just skip all of it with this. But what we also skip is something called a rebreather, which allows us to breathe underwater. So what I will do here is I will block, slow, and then interact with this chest, which will get Cal stuck in a little animation here. This is the airwalk. Now if I keep blocking, I will still be able to control Cal, but what I will do now, as soon as Cal's lightsaber turns off right there, I will switch to 30 FPS, by the way, it makes the trick easier. Cal will start automatically swimming back to that chest. As you can see, I'm not doing anything. Cal just swims back to that chest down there, automatically, because of the glitch we have active. Now I will line up my camera here, a certain way. I have a setup for it with my health bar, and if I do this correctly, when you hear a lightsaber ignition sound right now, I will spam shift and Cal will start swimming. Cal is currently swimming underwater, and we need to get under a certain geometry right here. You can bonk on it. I hope I can get it. I got it perfectly, and this is known as slide skip. This is very hard if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but if you have a setup for it, it is quite easy. And still very nerve-wracking because you get one shot at it, like I said, and if you miss it, your run is basically over. Because, like you saw just after that cutter room floor and before that big TLJ off of the Stormtrooper, I did a safety save. Normally you wouldn't do that, and if you were to miss it here and reset because of it, or if you miss it and then you quit out and try again, you get put all the way back at overcharge. So right at the beginning of Kashyyyk essentially, which is just a run killer. Like you just reset at that point. So I did a target lock jump there to get on top of that jumping plant, and I will trigger the flashback here to get the Jedi flip ability, which allows us to fly. Yes, you can fly in this game due to a change in how animation cancels and all that stuff works that was patched into the game on May 5th, I think, or May 4th, I don't remember, last year. And ever since then, we can fly by pressing jump and then slow, and then we can jump again in the air. So slowing will replenish our double jump essentially, which in turn makes us able to fly. There we go. I will void out here so that I will spawn back down here. And now I will do something called Blind Nine Sister skip. So as you can see, I'm pressing slow and jump, and this way I can fly. So I will do a bunch of weird out of bounds stuff right here. And try to hit a loading trigger that will put me back in a certain area, where I will then hit a barrier that teleports you back to another section of Kashyyyk. So, bunch of stuff going on. That skip is known as barrier skip. It's not barrier skip, it is, yeah, it's barrier skip. So there is a barrier there that teleports you back towards the refinery section of Kashyyyk. And there we will do another PBC through a door to skip a slow elevator ride. But I will get Blind Nine Sister skip here, first of all. I think in Panash's run in AGDQ 2021, he did do this one as well. There we go. And we got it, perfect. And right at this route here, right here, we got teleported, just like so. I will switch my FPS back to, whoops, 45, and do another PBC, right so. And then I will fly up here. Oh, I missed the wall. I missed the part where you can go through. That has never happened to me. Interesting. Yeah, now we'll do a bunch of out of bounds flying movement. That is very confusing if you don't know what's going on. But essentially what I'm doing now is I fly towards a, holy shit, a loading trigger that is right here. Right there. And then I will go back to a gondola. That is right down there. And hitting that low trigger before makes this gondola faster, because you can get a slow gondola ride here, but triggering that low trigger will always result in a fast gondola right here. So you just hit that button twice here.
Project Augur has been reactivated. The Empire may be close to finding another Zeffo tomb.
Looks like we still have work to do.
So yeah, what I'll also do is switch back. So yeah, as you can see from my time, I'm losing time over my world record run here, but it's fine, because I did a bunch of safety saves, and I did some stuff very slowly.
Looking on the bright side. Hey, thanks
Oh,
for everything.
I overshot here.
I love gold.
Oh, I split there on accident.
Yeah, now you're thinking.
Okay,
Let's get out of here.
now we go to Dathomir. Go back to full screen. Skip the conversation again. Oh, that was... yeah. So, a couple of safety saves I did there made me lose a lot of time. But it's fine. It's all good. Okay. So we skipped the conversation again. And they will talk now. Also, there are no more PBCs in this game anymore. So what I will do now is I will change my resolution back to 1080p. So that it's more pleasant to look at. So yeah, but other than a couple other things on Bogano 2 that I will be doing, and on Nur, this run is pretty similar now to no PBC and to the one that was shown off in AGDQ 2021. But Nur will still be a lot different, and you will see why. Because if you remember, or if you recall, I said that we skipped a thing called a rebreather that makes you able to swim underwater. But we skipped that, like I said, so we won't be able to swim underwater on Nur, which is a problem. but yeah, we have to do some weird, janky stuff there. But it's still possible, and it overall saves still time. So slide skip still saves a bunch of time, even though NER is a little bit slower. But it's still very fast. Okay, so we just fly and skip all of Dathomir. We don't see a lot of Dathomir, we just dashed through everything here. Now we will get put into the Order 66 cutscene. Not the cutscene, we will get into the Order 66 flashback, which we skip by just flying and hitting a load trigger. So as soon as I meditate here, and then leave the meditation circle, we will get put into the flashback, right so. And what we do now is we just go here, and we fly upwards, and I use a setup right here. And I just try to hit a loading trigger. Oh, I missed it there. There we go. Hit the loading trigger. And now we're just on out of bounds movement. If you played the game casually, you know there's like an extended sequence here. We just fly right towards the end and just hit the cutscene trigger. So another big cutscene coming up here. Afterwards I will do something known as Ilum skip. Normally in a casual playthrough, after this cutscene here, you fight Jaro Tapal in like a weird force flashback memory, and you will break your lightsaber because of it. And then you will have to go to the planet Ilum and get a new Kyber crystal, and it's all that stuff. It's very slow. Using Fly, we can skip that planet altogether, and I will show you how to do that after this cutscene is over.
I overloaded the ship's reactors. The explosion almost got us camp.
So sadly, our master Jaro Tapal dies here,
It's not over, my Padawan.
and that is still on Cal's mind, so that's why
For the Jedi Council.
we will face him now in a flashback, or a memory, or a vision, something like that. And like I said, normally if you fight him there, you will break your lightsaber, but we will do... We won't fight him, we will just fly away. Fly away and skip Ilum that way. Okay. Cutscene's over. Now we are in the Force Vision. Right here. Cannot move Cal yet. And in front of Cal, Jaro Tapal will spawn. Right there. And he wants us to fight him. But...
For instruction.
And like it ignites his lightsaber and all that. What we just do is we just say, "See ya, nerd," and we just fly away. Pointless acrobatics. Yeah, he has a bunch of voice lines you can do there, and pointless acrobatics is one of the best ones. So nice, we got the good one. Okay, so we'll just fly here. Now we're on top of that Dathomir section where we triggered the Order 66 flashback in the first place. Now I will fly out here, go back inside. And hit that meditation point to save the game. Now what I will have to do, we still need to get into the tomb from here on out, but the tomb is not loaded yet, so we need to save quit here. And when we say load back in, the backside of the tomb will be loaded, where we will get the Astrium. which is why we're here for. Yeah, so we're just here to grab the astrium, which is what I'm about to do. Now, you will notice that right here was the last time that I touched the ground, really, or what the game considers to be respawnable ground. So what I will do here now is I will, for the remainder of this, try to stay airborne. You can see the whole tomb is loaded now, but there isn't really textures on there. And you can't stand on this ground right here, because it's not technically considered ground. So you can do a dash strike, a couple of dash strikes right here. What I do now is I get on here. There's a crawl space right here with a load trigger right there. And I will just fly. Now don't touch the ground anywhere here. And you're good. There's a boss down there, as you can see. A very cool boss called Taron Malicos. We just fly over him. You don't need to deal with that guy. Bye, Malicos. So yeah, don't touch the ground anywhere here, because we will use a void out to go all the way back to the start of the tomb, so we don't have to fly all the way back. So don't touch the ground anywhere here, even though it seems tempting. We just fly and fly. Now we can touch the ground right here. That doesn't matter, and we just grab the astrium. And we will be standing on nothing, and there's just Merrin without her hair and her hood, but only the like forehead part about her hood. It's really weird. We didn't trigger the cutscene where we meet Merrin, so she's all messed up now. And we stand on nothing. So yeah, if that isn't Jedi Fallen Order speedrunning in a nutshell, then I don't know what is.
I was alone for a long time.
And we will actually use the fact that we are standing on nothing to our advantage, because as soon as this cutscene ends, Cal will he will fall because he's not standing on anything, and will void out, and that will put us back where we last touched the ground, which is at the start of the tomb, which is what we want. And then we just leave Dathomir and go to Bogano 2, and then we go to Nur, and on Nur is where stuff gets a little weird still, but yeah.
I will join you.
You will?
Also, fun fact, if you do the Merrin cutscene triggers like we do all here, she will be in the Mantis, but she will have her hood on in the Mantis, which she's not supposed to. Like, when in a casual playthrough, when she's on the Mantis, she's just supposed to show her hair, but it's really weird. I mean, it's kind of expected on how we sequence break the game and all that, and how many cutscenes we avoid. The game to be a little buggy afterwards, but it's fine. So, cutscene is about to end.
My crew, they might take a little bit of convincing, though.
Then we'll convince them.
Then we will convince them, hell yeah. Okay, so now Cal, cutscene is over, Cal will void out, just like so. Whoop! And we're back here.
Let's head out.
Perfect. Now we will once again, fly out of this area here. We've done that previously already, but now we'll actually go to leave Dathomir. So we just dash strike our way back to the Mantis. There we go. And we just run back. I forgot to mention earlier, I flew here because there is a cutscene trigger here at the ground, like right there at the ground, that we don't want to hit, so we just fly over it. You can also technically PBC it, but it's really risky and not really worth it. And it's like a minute-long cutscene, so if you hit the cutscene, it's basically run over. Okay. Here we go.
You found it.
That's Dathomir.
Who's this? What's that supposed to mean?
It means I'll be joining you.
Seer, Grease, this is Marin.
She's a witch, isn't she?
A night sister. Your fear is unnecessary.
I couldn't have gotten the Astrium without her. We fought Malicos together. I trust her.
And we trust you. You will have to earn it.
Okay, fine. Grab some seat. Don't try anything funny.
Okay.
Welcome
So
aboard.
now that we have the Astrium, we will go to Bogano 2.
They like you.
Or we will go to Bogano yet again, which is the Bogano 2 split. And place the Astrium in the vault where we watched the Eno Cordova cutscene right at the beginning of Bogano
I
1.
don't know what you're saying.
And then we will get the holocron, which is our whole mission here. And yeah. And then we go to Nur and we finish the game. Bogano. Always be careful to select the right planet here. There have been people that went back to Zeffo from here. It's not a huge deal, but it's still time loss. So be careful on that. Again, we will use the terrarium to skip the dialogue of the two.
It's pretty dead in there.
There we go. There is Marin with her hood on the Mantis. Look at her. Not supposed to be that way. We just wait for the planet to load in.
Time to land. Get up here.
There we go. There's a cutscene right here.
You think it'll work?
It worked for Cordova.
You can make it work.
She's right.
She also has her hood on right here. She's not supposed to have her hood on, but
I'm sorry, am I interrupting?
No,
it's really funny.
Captain. And we couldn't have gotten this far without you.
Oh, well,
It's true, Grease.
Now we all appreciate Greece for a minute.
Holocron.
Are you sure it's something you should find?
What do you mean?
The children on that list. If you take them from their homes to train as Jedi, won't they be hunted like you?
Marin makes a good point here,
They have to be kept out of the hands of the Empire.
which will influence Cal's decision at the very end. But sadly, that cutscene at the very end of the game we will not see,
Please.
because we skip certain cutscenes, so the final two won't trigger, but we can still complete the game. It will just void out. We will just void out at some point, but it's fine. It's nothing major. The run is over by then anyway. So, Bogano 2. One of the shortest splits, actually the shortest splits. And yeah, it's just dashing to the vault, doing a flashback, and then dashing back. I still have to avoid, I don't know if you remember from earlier, but on Bogano 1 there was this one zip line that I avoided because there's a map tutorial thing at the end of it. That is still there, so I still can't use the map. I still can't use that zip line, so I still have to do different movement than normal here. But nothing crazy. We just fly here and then dash across right here. So that again, that platform there on the left, don't want to hit that. The only problem is that we get in combat with this frog for like a second, but it's not too bad. So we just dash strike our way all the way to the crawl space.
Careful, buddy. We still don't know how this thing works.
And we dash strike even further. Place the Astrium inside of the vault. Like so. Watch a little cutscene. Actually a little cutscene this time.
Amazing. The vault itself is built like a giant holocron.
And we can dash strike over to that wall.
We're close. Let's check it out.
Okay, so we dash strike across here. And normally you want to wait until this guy is finished with his dialogue and stuff, and then you want to do a climbing section here, but we don't do any of that. We just fly over him. We just don't really care about what he has to say. We just fly to the top of that ledge right there, you can see. Okay, and then we'll do a dash trick here. Trigger a weird memory thing here. Just fly over it. Keep flying. Ah, unlucky. Okay. That was almost it. Second sister right here.
And we may spare the youngest.
Now we will fall here.
That's right. On your knees.
And we will keep flying immediately. And skip all of this down here. Just land. Go in here. Now Cal is Inquisitor Cal now. And we will stay Inquisitor Cal for like a moment for the rest of Bogano too. And we'll have a red lightsaber and all that stuff. But yeah, there's like a boss fight down below us there. We just skip everything. Hit the loading trigger right here. And make our way back to the Mantis. So here again, don't want to hit that thing, so I will just fly over it. Don't go there. So yeah, we would essentially just flying back to the Mantis in a straight line. And of course dashing whenever possible. Okay, there's also map cutscene trigger here. If you go too far left, you could hit that, so just be careful. And that's Bogano 2 for you.
I saw what happened between you and Trilla, what you both went through.
Okay, so now there's a pretty long cutscene playing out, and that gives me the perfect opportunity to explain what is about to happen now. We will head into Nur now, and there is a cutscene that plays where Cal like uses an escape pod here and then gets sent down into the planet, and it's like a water planet and he's like underwater. We skip that cutscene by quitting out as soon as it saves, and then we would normally get put just in the water. But like I said, we skipped the rebreather on Kashyyyk, which then makes it so that we can't actually swim underwater, we can just swim on top of the water. But we're in like a weird cave down there and we kind of need to get out of that cave. So you have to do some weird movement to do it, and it doesn't help that the camera is like in a way different spot. Like the camera is not even close to where Cal is. So we won't be seeing anything. This is essentially completely blind, and if you do a swim boost, which is faster, the camera will bug out even more. You won't be able to see what the heck's going on, but just believe me, I'm just doing movement to get out of those rocks so that we can progress. So this is slide skip itself saves like 5 minutes, but having no rebreather on Nur loses another 30 to 40-ish seconds. So yeah, that's like a little bit of a trade-off we have to do, but overall slide skip still saves a lot of time, and it's one of the major new skips that we found. And yeah, this run is going really well so far. I am 19 seconds behind the world record currently, and I could have probably world record if I didn't go for all the safety saves, but it's fine. We're all good. This was a no reset run with me talking the whole way through. Hopefully I didn't miss anything major. Any questions or anything like that, we have our Discord. People will be answering questions anybody has there, or you can just contact me personally. I can also answer whatever questions you might have.
You're making good progress, Cal.
So yeah. There we go.
Not bad, Val.
Flying to Nur.
We've had some close calls. Hey, remember Nadola?
Oh, yeah.
One last terrarium dialogue skip.
Oh, yeah, we followed up all right. Right into an Imperial-occupied system. At least at that time, they hadn't flagged us yet.
Get some seeds in here.
Okay. There we go. So again, we look at the bottom right to see check for that autosave symbol, and as soon as we see the autosave symbol, we quit out. And that is right now. And we just spam space to click continue as soon as possible and load back into the save file. Okay, no rebreather Nur. Like I said, you won't be able to tell what's going on. But trust me, it's stuff, it's all intentional. All just weird out of bounds blind movement. We just kind of use the camera as a visual indicator on where you even are. There we go. And we kind of line ourselves up right here. I like to do a boost here to try to get out of the rocks to clip out. I did. There we go. You saw the camera like do a weird movement there. That means we're out. And if I now swim boost at the bottom of the screen, like way down below, you might be able to see Cal. Yeah, there he is. You see him swimming down there? That's where Cal is. It's really strange, and yeah. So what I do now is I aim for those rocks right here. There's like a place where Cal can stand, and we can use that to fly. Right here. There we go. So we just fly, and we fly over all of the water. I will look down for a indicator on when I can actually drop down to do dash strikes, because at some point there is invisible ground here, like right here should be good. Yep. And there's another invisible wall right about here. Should be good. Perfect. Nice. And now we just do Nur the way we used to do it. By just skipping everything. Like this all is supposed to be water here, but they didn't make it all water because that would be hella demanding on the system, so you can just run all here. It's really fun. You can just walk all over here. What we do now is we go here, we jump here, we try to load or hit a load trigger. That's like right here, there we go. There we go, we fly here. And now we do a void out technique. So we hit the ground here again at the last time where we hit the ground, similar to what we did on Dathomir. We just kinda don't hit the ground anymore from now on. We fly into the final boss fight technically, but we don't do any sort of boss fights. We don't even see the last boss. And also now is where spoiler territory is, because we will actually be seeing Darth Vader in just a moment. So I will be flying here looking for this pipe to load in. It loaded in, perfect. Now I can go here, void out, and we're back at the start at the elevator. And we click this button, And as you can hear, there he is. There's just Darth Vader. Just standing there. Also, regarding PPCs, remember how I said it is because the game lags? You can unintentionally PPC right here. Oh, I actually got it. I got Darth Vader to be in the elevator. Poggers. Nice. So you can unintentionally PPC through that elevator, because if your computer is not very good, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so Darth Vader's just standing here.
I think we lost him.
Sure you lost him, Cal? I don't know about that.
See her.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get him inside of the elevator sometimes. Okay, so we just dash right here. And time comes up as soon as Cal stabs Vader. So, right... right there. And that's the run. That's Jedi Fallen Order any %. A really good run, 18.2 seconds behind world record.
I'll never give it to you.
Very good, very good. So, I hope I could show you the speedrun in a somewhat understandable way. I could show you the differences between no PBC and PBC, and a couple of the new skips we found, mainly on Bracca and on Kashyyyk. So yeah, I would be very happy to run the game on SGDQ 2021. And yeah,
She's stronger than that.
that was it from me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the run. It was a really good run, if I do say so myself. And yeah, that was my submission video. Goodbye.